It was 2010 and I was in Haiti, and it was right after the earthquake, and I started to think that I need to be able to do more. There's a lot of thing out there in Haiti that is fighting for the kids' interests and for their heart. In 2014, we started Project Living Hope. We wanted to empower Haitians to build a stronger Haiti, and we wanted to be able to do this through discipleship.
Sarah Comstock, who has been part of our organizations from the very beginning, her and her husband adopted a little boy from Haiti, so that kind of started their interest. And then through her job at Corbin University, she and Gesley partnered to take pre-medical students down to Haiti.
I had several friends beside my wife Sarah, people from the church, a cousin from Missouri, other friends that have gone to Haiti with me, and I started to tell them about this idea about wanting to start this organization, and was asking them what would they think about it and would they pray about it. And to my amazement, a lot of them wanted to get involved. And so starting out, we realized that we needed to work in a way that is meaningful. Haiti has had a lot of struggle because they've had a lot of mission organization. They have a lot of church that have worked in Haiti, but one of the things we realized is that a lot of Haitians were young. They were not well educated. A lot of them did not have anything to do. You know, sports could speak to almost everybody. Not always everybody loves sport, but in Haiti, everybody in reality knows soccer. And so being able to use a sport like soccer to invite the men, to allow us to create deeper relationship, to share Christ, was one of our first thought process of how to empower Haitian. The other benefit of using discipleship that way is you're able to keep kids off the street, keep them safe, and provide them positive mentorship.
There have been a lot of organizations that have worked in Haiti for decades. They provide needed food and clothing and housing and schooling for kids, but a lot of those really don't get to the root problem that Haitians have, and it's really to have hope for the future, something to motivate them to do better, to make their community stronger. And so that's why our focus really is on young people and empowering them, learning about their interests and strengths, and discipling them, bringing other Haitian strong leaders alongside them to mentor them.
One of the impact that we notice is just the way our views and the way we challenge, especially the young adults and their thought process. Not only just providing opportunity to kids to have a place to belong, to play sports, but we'll question them about their walk with Christ, asking them to be better leaders within their home, taking ownership of their family.
Project Living Hope works in a community called Camp Marie. It's a little village off a main highway, and our property sits a little less than a mile off that road. And so we have a gravel road leading out to our property of 19 acres that we've been developing over the last couple years. It's a slight slope, so we've had to do major excavation work that some guys from our church and community have been involved in. But now we have our first couple buildings there where we can have our English classes, where we store soccer equipment. We have a basketball court, 2 soccer fields. We have about 12 employees. Most of them were born right there in Camp Marie, lived there. Some of them already were leaders in their community that just stuck out to Gesley right off, needed to be involved, and then others that have come along the way and joined the ranks and been mentored and done a lot of grunt work on the land.
In 2018, Sarah and I made a decision to be more involved with Project Living Hope because we realized for the organization to continue to grow in Haiti, our presence was needed. I have been a physician here in the community for over 12 years, and so I met with the hospital and see how could we work with me working here part-time and being in Haiti part-time.
For our first year of going back and forth to Haiti and being there about half of the year, we rented an apartment about 15 minutes drive away from the Project Living Hope land. But then 2 years ago, we bought a piece of property for ourselves that just bumps right up against the Project Living Hope land. So we can just walk right across the road that we built and get over to that property. And that's been really great.
The community see us as part of the community because we're there. and it's amazing how people kind of walk by and say hi as we get into different discussion, and it really has been nice.
So we started with this bare piece of land, and with each thing that we build on the property, it brings more and more people up to the land. And so we're excited about the next thing that we want to build is the educational building, which will have 6 classrooms in it. It'll have a library, and so we'll be able to move our English students over there to those classrooms, but then also start our job skills training. And so it'll use that building plus the big open air space that we have to teach things like auto mechanics and electrical work, or plumbing, masonry. Also, we want to teach finance and entrepreneurship.
We need prayer for the Haitian people, just for healing, and for the country to be able to move forward, because they've been living in such harsh conditions for so long. For people to see that Christ is the answer. We need prayer for our staff. Even as an organization, we still have a few staff that we continue to minister to that are not dedicated Christians. Then we need prayer as we continue to we see increase in utilization of our property, so that we'll be able to raise the funds to build the educational building.
You can always be praying for Gesley and I to have wisdom. It feels like every time we get ready to go down to Haiti, we have to decide if we should actually be going or not. It's often dangerous down there, but that's still where we're called to go. So every time we kind of have to gauge that, and also whether to have teams and visitors come down. We want people to come down to Haiti, but we also need to keep people safe. So we can pray for wisdom and for safety for our staff and for my sister who's living down there.
We just want to thank just so many people within our local community and at Foothills who has been part of the team in helping Project Living Hope to be where we are today. Without you, we would not be there.